we're just gonna encoop all of the special teams into one video here. We got the kicker, the punter, long snapper. Hey, we got one of the best long snappers in the game.
That's true.
And then we're gonna try to predict who our kick returners are. Maybe who we think the next Jamarcus Weston could be. Someone who's on a roster for that gunner spot. I haven't even thought about it. That just came to my head right there. But maybe we can try to figure it out. But let's start with the kicker here, because this is probably the easiest of all of them that you talk about. Trey Smack went 18 of 21 last year, including 3 50-plus yard field goals, a 55-yarder against LSU, I think it was. Really, after that Georgia game, kicking was perfect for the rest of the season. And it's not like it was bad before then, because Georgia was a bad snap, so that was on him. Tennessee game, did we miss a kick against Tennessee as well, or?
Yeah, we did. He missed one in that game.
I think it was also a bad snap, if I'm not mistaken, or a bad hold.
I can't remember specifically, but he was 1 of 2 in that game.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it was a bad snap. So Trey Smack, when he's getting a full opportunity to kick, is maybe one of the best in the country, and is someone that we could see being drafted as a kicker in this upcoming season. How would we even grade it? Because we're not looking at the backup kicker, are we?
No, I think you can just grade on who's starting here. I would give it. Sorry, go. What were you gonna say?
We can look at the backup kicker even, and we signed one in the last class. Let me pull him up real quick. 5-star kicker, if I'm not mistaken, Evan Knoll. Pretty sure he had a 60. Was it him that had a 60-yarder in a high school game?
Probably. I think he was, if not the number 1 kicker in America, he was up there.
According to 247 Sports, he was the number 1 kicker, both the composite and their rankings. So yeah, let's say some crazy thing happens to Trey Smack, which I'm not gonna build that into existence at all. We have the number 1 high school kicker in the country. If that was any other position, we'd be very hyped about that.
Yeah, to me, this is an easy A. I don't think there's a lot more that needs to be said beyond that. It's pretty straightforward. I think it's funny to me because I remember, after the disaster of kicking, I don't know if you remember how well you remember in 2015 when Florida's kicking was just, you couldn't rely on them to hit.
I remember.
Yeah. But for the years after that, a pretty long time, I think we got pretty spoiled with kicking between Eddie Pinheiro and Evan McPherson. They were 2 of the best kickers in the country for however long we had them both. I think 7 combined years, something like that.
Something like that.
So and then I think, you really you kind of just took it for granted. And then, a couple of years there, kind of like the Adam Mahalik years, it was not very reliable, but Smack has been maybe not quite up to the level of Pinheiro and McPherson, but really good. Has had a couple random games where, a couple random kicks here and there where he's missed it, but it's surprising when that happens because it's uncharacteristic. He's very reliable most of the time. Reliable from long range. In terms of college kicking, he's about as good as you're going to get.
Yeah, I specifically remember in 2015, I was at the Florida Atlantic game in overtime. We scored. that FAU was a 3-win team that year, and they took us to overtime.
I think they were 2-8. I saw someone post that score bug yesterday. They were 2-8 going into that game.
Yeah, so they took us to overtime. That's irrelevant. We score in overtime on a touchdown pass to Jake McGee, and we missed the extra point. But luckily, we were able to stop them from scoring, so we win 20-14. But yeah, I remember going to the games in 2016 and 2017, and the whole stadium would chant Eddie for Eddie Pinheiro because he was a big kicker, former soccer player, big time soccer player, and we got him over Bama. So I remember it was a big deal.
Yeah, that was the year that we tried out the dental student, right? Was it Neil McInnes? I want to say his name was. Does that sound right? Do you remember that? They had to have a walk-on kicker who was a dental student who hadn't kicked since high school, and he tried out and made the team and kicked a couple times. I got to double check that because Neil McInnes, and now he's a dentist apparently in Brandon.
Wow,
good for him.
yeah, good for him. But What would it take for the kicker to be an A+? Because you gave it an A.
Yeah. I mean, I just think the fact that Smack is like not quite at the level of like an Evan McPherson. I mean, Evan McPherson was arguably the best kicker in SEC history. Like that's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
that's kind of what I'm
Doesn't he
saying. Like,
hold the record for like highest field goal percentage or something like that?
yeah, he at least he did. I know LSU's Cade York was up there too, either in percentage or made kicks or total points or something like that. Like, there's a few guys up there, but he definitely held some sort of SEC kicking record.
It's
At
Evan
one
McPherson.
point. Is it? Okay.
Yeah, number one at 85%, and then Bama's Will Reichard, Missouri's Harrison Mevis. So since 2020.
Yeah.
The top three, interestingly enough, there. So, yeah, I mean, I think some of his misses, like it was just like bad snaps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I got to be the positive one here. You're giving an A. That's I'll give it an A plus.
Okay.
Because I think Smack is might be the best kicker in college football, and I think he will get drafted. So, for whatever that means to you. We'll move on here now to the punchers. So we bring in Tommy Doman from Michigan, 6'4", 215, whatever that matters. I'm just trying to figure out what to say here because don't really know much about him. I've heard some people say he's actually a pretty good punter. So I like that. But like you lose Crawshaw, who was a punter who got drafted, so he's obviously pretty dang good. But we'll see. Like we'll see what we get from Dahlman.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Like, I think Crawshaw, I'm not sure I gave Crawshaw as much credit as he deserved while he was here. Cause like after just following up like the Townsend brothers, like he wasn't necessarily quite at that level. So I think I kind of didn't give him as much credit for being like one of the best punters in the country in his own right. I mean, I think that's a tough loss. I mean, Doman is like, I mean, I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert at evaluating punters, but I mean, it seems like what you want to see. I mean, he was a third team. It was like all Big Ten, either third team or honorable mention, depending on where you look last year. So one of the, a top 3-ish punter in the Big Ten, averaged 42.6 yards on 49 punt. I had to punt a lot because he was, the Michigan offense last year left a lot to be desired. So got a lot of work. I mean, I wish I knew, 15 inside the 20. That seems pretty good to me. But beyond like
won a game.
What was that?
No, he's getting over one a game inside the 20. So
yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty, impressive. So, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, again, like, I don't think either of us are like the best equipped to evaluate specialists, but there's no major red flags here. This seems like a solid replacement.
And since we mentioned the freshman kicker, we also brought in a freshman punter, Hayden Craig, from Quebec, Canada. I believe he's already on campus there. Number 7 punter, so not quite as good as our kicker, but top 10 at least, top 7. Only behind a punter from Southern Miss. So
yeah, it's nice that they've already got the future set up at these spots because both they're gonna have to, Doman's a 1-year rental, and obviously Smack is also a senior. So is Smack a 5th year or is he a 4th year?
4th year, I think.
Okay.
Let me pull it up real quick. Kicker.
Because I think he still played his first year.
He's a senior.
I think he
split time with Harden.
When he
or Mahalik.
You mean Mahalik? Yeah.
Mahalik. Yeah.
I think even when he wasn't splitting time, I think he was always the kickoff specialist. I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He was always a kickoff specialist.
Yeah, so Smack's been playing since the beginning. So yeah, so I mean, you're losing them both after this year. I mean, it's nice to have that kind of already 2 guys who are ready to step in there next year. In terms of grade for the punting, I mean, I guess like B+. I mean, probably slight downgrade, I'm thinking, but nothing like that would worry you.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there on the B+. No need to be a contrarian right there. I guess next we can talk about the long snapper. Okay, it's Rocco Underwood, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Gannon Burt enter the transfer portal? Or is he still the backup?
That's an excellent question.
Because I feel like I saw something about him in the portal. But it may be a different long snapper. Yep, he's at North Carolina now.
Okay.
So we had
Oh,
3
Belichick.
transfers out of
Belichick
North
stole our
Carolina.
backup long snapper, man. Who
Stole our
else?
backup
Oh, that's
safety,
where.
backup defensive
Yeah,
tackle, and
yeah.
backup long snapper. Hey, maybe
That
Billy
is
knows what
funny.
he's doing there.
Yeah.
Getting one of
Well,
the best
either.
coaches of all time.
Well, either. Well, it's like either you could frame it like Billy knows what he's doing because Bill is taking, the guys that Billy recruited that weren't playing, or like, I mean, maybe North Carolina's evaluations are just bad and they're taking the guys that we were cutting loose. I guess we'll
Maybe.
find out.
Maybe. But I mean, Underwood, I'm pretty sure he won the award for like best long snapper in the country. I mean, let's be realistic here. I don't think any of us are gonna bat an eye at the long snapper.
No.
So
He was
like, unless
second
he
team
could,
All SEC last year, I believe. Yeah, second
Mm.
team All SEC.
So I mean, solid long snapper there. Now let's look at the roster. Who do you think could be like the gunner? Who could be the next Jamarcus Weston here? Because Weston's on a roster. Were they looking at a linebacker, maybe?
Could it be like? What about like?
This is tough.
Could it be like? Could it be one of the freshman safeties?
Maybe. I was looking at the DBs here. I
Mhm.
mean, because you want someone probably a little bit larger. Maybe this is something I should have put some thought in. Could it be like a walk-on?
Is it Alfonso Allen?
I think
the
he's a
Baylor
bit
kid.
smaller though for I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just comparing him to Weston, so it's like
Yeah.
maybe a
Yeah,
running
I don't
back?
know. Like, I don't know. Like, I kind of know the skill set that goes into
Webb?
being a gunner, but I'm honestly not sure like what physical traits like you're looking
I think
for
I'd
there.
guess Webb. Tryon Webb.
Yeah, that's an interesting call.
I think that might be my best guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because, offensive player, physical running back, Weston was a physical wide receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, Webb is a very big program guy. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
my
like
guess
it
right
too
now.
because his carries are probably going to be a little bit limited this year. You would think.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll get
So
them. I think he'll play, but yeah, you definitely see a bigger role on special teams. I like that. That's a pretty good pick. I like that.
I knew I'd find someone eventually, maybe Khalil Jackson.
Yeah. There you know, Khalil's your ex receiver. What are you talking about?
I don't hate on Khalil as others do. Like, I think he's a solid wide receiver. But like, you got like Dallas Wilson, you got Mizell. Like, we're not gonna get into this.
Yeah,
We're talking about special teams.
Yeah, it's just Khalil's like he's a good player and he's solid, good team guy. I like that we have him here. It's just like someone should be able to beat him out at this point. Like just being real, someone should be able to beat him out.
Yeah, no doubt about that right there. Where I put the list at? All right, now we're gonna try to predict our returners. I think we should start off with punt returner. So I think I have a clear answer in my head for who I think punt returner should or will be. So you lose DK, who was a really good punt returner. They got someone that they had sure hands with, had good speed, explosiveness. So I think the main person I'm looking at here in his second season is Tank Hawkins.
That's a good
Another
pick.
wide receiver. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if he has trustworthy hands like DK did, but I think you look at him, it's going to be tougher. I mean, he's going to get playing time at receiver. But, like, you're starting Trey Wilson, Aiden Mizell, you have these freshmen, you have TJ Abrams as well. You probably want to get Tank Hawkins the ball as much as possible. And I think punt return is the best option because of the receivers, your other option is probably Trey Wilson, but you probably don't want to put Trey out there for injuries reasons. And then, I don't think you put any of the running backs back there. And so if you look at the defensive backs, maybe Gates. I think he is someone that's explosive with the ball, but you probably don't want to risk that injury with him.
What's your thought on? Oh, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Last name I'll mention like Cormani McLean, maybe.
Yeah, if he's not playing a lot on defense. What I was wondering, I'm curious what you think. Like, especially if he doesn't carve out a major role on offense. What about Vernell Brown?
That was another. Yep, that's a good name. And just have they put a freshman out there? I don't think they have.
Unless how much did Hawkins actually return last year? Did he at all?
Punts? No, TK returned the punts last year.
Okay, he didn't. Did he return kicks? Yeah, I mean you need a
He
more reliable.
may have
You need more
returned
reliable
some.
hands on punts.
That's why I'm like, it is Tank. That's why I'm like, it depends. Like, is he trustworthy?
Yeah, that's a good point.
They don't have special team stats on ESPN.
I kind of feel like you could just go with whatever receiver who's not going to play a major role in the offense. They trust the hands the most.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whether that's, Vernell if he's ready, Hawkins if he has the hands. I mean, I think Hawkins would probably be ideal if you trust him, just because he does have that speed, that athleticism, like the potential to be kind of a dynamic game changer in the return game. I feel like that's something Florida's kind of lacked. It's been a little bit since you felt like you've had a really dangerous return guy. So,
well, they had Pearsall in 2023 at punt returner. 2022, I believe, was also Pearsall. Let me punt returns. No, Xavier Henderson in 22.
Yeah. Okay. That's a weird.
They also had ETN in 22. Sure hands. I mean,
yeah,
straight line speed. So I mean, you're catching the punt. Just try to get as much as you could.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would get my guess is going to be Tank Hawkins because I think his explosiveness and I don't know if he has trusted hands yet, but like if he does, that's who I'm picking.
Yeah, I'd say that's the safest bet.
All right. And then kick return. So last year we had Jaden Ball returning kicks. Returned a couple of them. I don't know if he was the best out there. We also had kick returns. Jacoby Jackson returned one, Badger returned one, Montreal returned one, and Treyon Webb returned one. Do you think they put Ball out there again, or because now he's a full-time starting back, they don't?
You would think probably not with the amount of carries we expect him to see. I mean, I guess it depends what that carry distribution actually looks like with Jacoby Jackson. I mean, maybe if it's not, maybe if it's closer to 50-50, but like I would kind of bet Baugh, even though I expect split carries, like I would say I expect Baugh to get like a pretty clear majority of the carries. Would you agree with that? Yeah.
I would. So I would maybe say, Jacoby Jackson.
Maybe Jacoby Jackson, maybe Treyon Webb. Maybe
or Katie Daniels.
Yeah, or Katie Daniels too. Like, it seems like Billy likes to use running backs here when possible on kick returns. I will say, I mean, he had Montreal take a couple. Like, it's not like Billy's opposed to having guys who are like getting carries do this, especially because like kick returns have kind of been phased out in terms of like
they don't have to that all that
many. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna guess Jacoby Jackson. Any of these receivers? Probably not. Maybe they put Tank back there as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think the same dynamic. Like you could put Tank or Vernell maybe if you want to. I mean, you don't like the hands are not nearly as important for the kick return. So like, you can kind of just do whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think they've got options for kicking. Like I don't really worry about it. Like I don't have a great idea what they're gonna do, but they have plenty of guys who I think could handle that job. So
yeah, absolutely. I don't think we should grade what we don't know. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, instead of a grade, I'll just say like there's enough bodies here that are athletic and talented enough that I think
a couple names we didn't mention at DB. Josiah Davis. I remember when he came here, there were specific talks about him being a return man, and the true freshman Javari Flowers. I know he's like a heavy return man as well, so maybe one of those
actually
two could
a
also
sleeper.
see snaps.
That's a good sleeper for Javari Flowers. We'll see. I don't know if they want to redshirt him this year. We'll see, but if not, it's an option.